Have you ever wondered why some men simply cannot get certain women out of their heads even after months, or even years? No matter how many experiences they have, there is always that invisible presence that haunts them, like a melody that never leaves their mind. Now think about this. What if everything you believed about making a man miss you was completely wrong? What if disappearing, not texting, playing hard to get, not only failed but actually made you forgettable? Carl Jung once said that what binds us is not absence, but the mark something leaves on our psyche. And it is exactly this mark that separates the women who are forgotten from those who become unforgettable. Today, you are going to discover how to create that irresistible psychological presence, not with games, but with invisible strategies that work deeply in his mind. If you've always wanted to know how to truly make a man miss you like crazy, this is the moment. The secret is not disappearing, but leaving a mark. Most advice given to women about relationships revolves around one simple tactic. If you want a man to miss you, then disappear. Stop calling, stop texting, pull away, and wait for him to notice your absence. At first glance, this might sound like clever psychology, but when we look closer, and when we bring in the insights of Carl Jung, we realize that this advice is not only incomplete, but often completely wrong. Because absence by itself does not create longing. Absence without emotional depth creates indifference. Think about the last time you encountered silence. Did silence itself make you yearn for it? Probably not. But what happens when you hear a song that captures your heart? One that fills you with emotion and meaning. When it stops playing, you don't miss silence. You miss the melody, the rhythm, the feeling that was stirred inside of you. The absence of the song only hurts because of the presence it once created. And that is exactly what happens in the mind of a man. He does not miss you simply because you are gone. He misses you when you have left a lasting mark on his inner world. This is where so many women make their mistake. They believe that by removing themselves, they will create space for him to realize her value. But value is not discovered in emptiness. It is revealed in impact. A man cannot miss what he never felt. He cannot chase what he never experienced. He cannot crave what never touched his unconscious. Carl Jung taught us that the human psyche attaches itself to symbols, experiences, and emotions that penetrate beyond the surface. Our unconscious does not hold on to logical checklists or simple physical presence. It holds on to what awakens archetypes within us: desire, mystery, safety, challenge, fascination. When a woman embodies these elements, she imprints herself into the deeper layers of a man's mind. Her absence then becomes powerful, because it amplifies the emotional echo she has already created. This is why the secret is not in disappearing. The secret is in leaving a psychological fingerprint that he cannot erase. Presence is not about constantly being available or flooding his attention. Presence is about resonance. The feeling that even when you are not there, something about you lingers. He replays your words in his mind. He remembers the way you looked at him. He feels the energy you carried into the room. This is the presence that breeds longing. And the paradox is this: trying too hard to be missed often makes you forgettable. Because when your focus is on forcing a reaction from him, you are still revolving around him instead of radiating from yourself. Real impact is born when you shift the focus inward, when you cultivate your own energy, your own depth, your own confidence. Men do not miss women who orbit them like satellites. They miss women who shine like their own sun, and who allow him to feel warmed by their light but never completely in control of it. Absence is only powerful after significance. If you step away without creating meaning, he experiences relief. But if you step away after touching his deeper emotions, he feels the weight of that loss. This is why some women, even after brief encounters, stay in a man's memory for years. It is not about time spent together. It is about depth of impact. She spoke in a way that reached him, or carried herself with such self-possession that his unconscious categorized her as irreplaceable. That is the kind of mark that makes absence unbearable. So how do you begin to leave this mark? Not through games, not through manipulation, and not through cold withdrawal. You leave it by cultivating genuine qualities that touch the unconscious. A calm but unshakable presence. A mysterious depth that makes him want to know more. A sense of value that does not depend on his reaction. Jung reminded us that archetypes live within all of us, waiting to be activated. The woman who evokes the archetype of the muse, the goddess, the nurturer, or even the challenge awakens something ancient in the male psyche, and once awakened, it is not easily forgotten. That is why silence after impact creates obsession. Just like the pause after your favorite lyric makes you ache for the next note, the absence of a woman who touched something deep makes a man restless, searching for the next experience of her presence. He doesn't simply think, "I miss her." He feels a hunger because his psyche now associates her with emotions he cannot reproduce elsewhere. The truth is clear. Disappearing is not the secret. Leaving a mark is, and that mark is not made by chasing, by overgiving, or by strategizing to be missed. It is made by becoming a presence that carries meaning, one that cannot be replaced or copied. Once you understand this, you stop playing the surface-level games of absence and start playing the deeper game of significance. That is how a man truly begins to miss you like crazy, not because you are gone, but because you have become unforgettable. Why trying too hard makes you forgettable. When someone tries too hard to be noticed, the effect is rarely what they hope for. Instead of creating attraction, it often creates the opposite: indifference. A man does not miss what is constantly in front of him, always chasing, always proving, always available. The truth is simple. Effort that comes from fear or desperation makes you blend into the background because it removes the natural tension that desire needs in order to grow. If everything is handed over without pause or balance, there is nothing left for the imagination. And imagination is the seed of longing. Think about the moments in life that stay in your memory. They are rarely the times when everything was obvious and handed to you. They are the moments when something was just out of reach, when you had to wait, when you had to wonder, when there was mystery. The same principle works in attraction. When a woman tries too hard, constantly texting, calling, showing up, or explaining herself, she removes the very thing that makes her unforgettable, the balance between presence and absence. She becomes predictable, and predictability is the enemy of desire. Men may not always say it, but they value the space to pursue. It is part of how attraction works. When you do all the work for him, he does not feel the natural pull to move closer. Instead, he relaxes, grows passive, and eventually loses interest. This is why trying too hard often backfires. It shifts the roles and makes him feel as if your energy is chasing while his is retreating. Desire thrives on balance, not on overgiving. Another reason why overeffort makes you forgettable is that it creates noise. Your constant messages or actions drown out the silence that would otherwise make him notice your absence. Without silence, there is no contrast. Without contrast, there is no longing. He becomes used to your presence, and what is always available loses value in his eyes. It is not that you are less worthy. It is simply that human nature takes for granted what never leaves. By trying too hard, you deny him the chance to feel your absence, and therefore, you deny him the chance to miss you. The irony is that many people try too hard because they fear being forgotten. Yet it is the very act of trying too hard that creates forgettability. True presence is not about flooding his world with reminders of you. True presence is felt when your energy lingers after you are gone. It is in the pause after a meaningful conversation, in the memory of your laughter, in the echo of your confidence. That is what makes you unforgettable. Not constant effort, but the ability to leave space where your essence remains. Trying too hard also weakens the way you see yourself. It shifts your focus from living your life to managing his attention. You start adjusting your rhythm to his responses, measuring your worth by how quickly he replies or how much he notices. This is exhausting, and over time it makes you appear less radiant. When you stop living fully for yourself, your light dims, and without realizing it, you become less magnetic. Men are not drawn to desperation. They are drawn to confidence, to someone who knows her value even in silence. This is why restraint is powerful. When you hold back from over-effort, you protect your mystery. You allow him to wonder what you are doing, where you are, and why you are not always available. That wondering is what makes him curious, and curiosity is what turns into desire. By not trying too hard, you make space for him to feel the natural pull toward you, instead of pushing him with energy that feels forced. Remember this: you do not need to prove your worth with endless effort. Your value does not increase because you chase more. It shines most when you remain calm, centered, and selective with your energy. That is what creates respect, and respect is what makes desire last. A man may forget the woman who tried too hard, but he will never forget the woman who carried herself with quiet confidence, who gave just enough to be felt but never so much that she erased her mystery. If you want to understand even deeper how hidden emotions shape your relationships and why some connections feel impossible to let go of, you can explore the Jung Method. The link is pinned in the first comment. How self-confidence creates longing. Confidence is not about loudness, arrogance, or constant display. True self-confidence is quiet, steady, and deeply magnetic. A man does not miss the woman who constantly doubts herself, begs for his attention, or tries to prove that she is worthy of love. He misses the woman who knows she already is worthy, with or without him. Confidence is what sets you apart from the noise, because it shows that your sense of value is not dependent on his reactions. And when a man feels that he is not the center of your world, that is exactly when he begins to crave a place in it. Imagine two different energies. One says, "Please notice me, I will do anything to be chosen." The other says, "I already know who I am, and if you wish to be part of this journey, you must step forward with respect." Which one stays in his memory longer? Which one creates longing when she is not around? The second, because confidence awakens curiosity. It makes him wonder what it is about you that makes you so steady, so calm, so unwilling to beg. That question plants itself in his mind, and from it grows a desire to return to your presence again and again. Confidence also changes the way silence and distance feel. If you are insecure, your silence looks like anger or punishment. But when you are confident, your silence feels like mystery. He cannot quite read it, and that draws him closer. He begins to replay your words, your expressions, and the way you carried yourself, because he knows there is depth behind them. Confidence makes every gesture heavier with meaning. You do not need to repeat yourself endlessly, because the strength of your presence already speaks enough. A man misses confidence because it is rare. Many people are shaped by fear, by the need for validation, by the hunger to be approved. So when he meets a woman who stands tall in her own worth, she is unforgettable. Her energy lingers even when she leaves. Her absence is not empty. It is charged with the memory of how secure she felt in herself. That security is what he begins to long for, because it gives him peace, challenge, and admiration at the same time. Confidence also brings boundaries, and boundaries are magnetic. When you show clearly what you accept and what you will not, you separate yourself from the rest. You are not just another option that bends under pressure. You are someone with lines that must be respected. A man may test those lines, but once he realizes they are firm, he values you more. Why? Because people always treasure what they cannot easily break. Boundaries make him recognize that to have your attention, he must rise to meet your standard. And that recognition makes your presence priceless in his mind. Another reason why confidence creates longing is because it changes the balance of effort. Instead of chasing desperately, you move with ease. You are not afraid to step back when needed. You are not afraid to let silence stretch. You are not afraid to lose him because you know losing yourself would be far worse. That calm detachment makes him feel that your connection is not about control but about choice. And when he senses that your love is freely given, not desperately clung to, it becomes more valuable. He misses it because he knows he cannot demand it. It must be earned. Confidence also makes every interaction richer. Your laughter carries warmth without neediness. Your opinions are shared without fear. Your presence is felt because you are fully there, not hiding behind masks or trying to impress. This authenticity is what stays with him. When you leave, he remembers how real it felt and he longs to return to it. Many people try to win love by pretending. Few dare to stand as they truly are. That courage is unforgettable. To build this kind of confidence, you must focus less on him and more on yourself. Nurture your own goals, your friendships, your growth. The more you expand your own life, the less you rely on his attention to feel complete. And ironically, that independence is exactly what makes him miss you. He sees that your world does not collapse without him, and that reality challenges him. It awakens a desire to prove that he can still be important to you, even when you are strong on your own. At its core, confidence is not about never feeling doubt. It is about not letting doubt control you. It is about choosing to believe in your value every single day, no matter who notices or who does not. And when you live this way, you become unforgettable. Because men may forget the woman who begged, who over-explained, who tried too hard. But they will always remember the one who carried herself with quiet confidence, who never needed to force affection, and who left a trace of longing behind every time she walked away. The power of unpredictability. Routine can kill desire faster than almost anything else. When every action is predictable, when every response is the same, when there are no surprises left, the mind stops paying attention. Predictability may bring comfort, but comfort alone does not create longing. What makes a man miss you is the sense that he cannot fully map you out, that he does not always know what will come next. and that being close to you is an experience that keeps unfolding. Unpredictability, when balanced with consistency of respect, becomes one of the strongest forces of attraction. Why does unpredictability hold so much power? Because human beings are wired to chase mystery. When something feels unknown, our attention sharpens. We become alert, curious, and even a little restless. The mind keeps turning the image over and over, searching for meaning. This is what makes unpredictability unforgettable. When you are not entirely readable, when you keep parts of yourself private, when you shift patterns from time to time, he cannot box you into a simple definition. That uncertainty makes him long for your presence, because he feels there is always more to discover. Unpredictability does not mean chaos. It does not mean being unreliable, unkind, or unstable. It means adding variation to the way you show up. If you always answer instantly, wait sometimes. If you always say yes, learn to say no. If you always follow his lead, choose the path yourself once in a while. These small shifts create tension, the good kind of tension that fuels desire. They remind him that you are not a puzzle already solved, but a story still being written. Consider how stories work. If every event is obvious from the start, no one stays interested. The best stories hold attention because twists appear, new layers are revealed, and the ending is never fully clear. Relationships mirror this dynamic. When you bring unpredictability into your presence, you keep his attention alive. He thinks about you when you are gone, wondering what you will do next, imagining how you might surprise him again. That wondering turns into missing. Another aspect of unpredictability is the ability to step outside of patterns. Many people fall into roles where they repeat the same emotional responses. Always available, always forgiving, always explaining. When you break that cycle, you stand out. For example, if he expects you to chase after every disagreement, do the opposite. Stay calm, take space, and let silence speak. That unexpected choice makes him reflect, makes him unsettled, and most importantly, makes him realize how much he values your presence when it is missing. By refusing to be predictable, you show him that he cannot take you for granted. Unpredictability also amplifies joy. When kindness, affection, or attention arrives in unexpected ways, it leaves a stronger mark. If you always give the same response, it fades into the background. But when you show warmth at an unexpected moment, it lights him up. He remembers it longer, and he connects that memory with you. Over time, these small unpredictable moments create a pattern of anticipation. He begins to look forward to you, to miss the next wave of your energy when it is not there. What makes unpredictability powerful is not only how it affects him, but how it strengthens you. When you stop living by fixed scripts, you feel freer. You allow yourself to grow, to explore, and to express without fear of being too much or too little. That freedom shows in your energy. A man feels it and knows he cannot control it. And when something cannot be controlled, it becomes more valuable. This is the paradox of unpredictability. The less you can be pinned down, the more unforgettable you become. It is important to understand that unpredictability works best when it is paired with consistency of character. You remain kind, respectful, and authentic. You simply avoid being repetitive. This balance prevents confusion and keeps the connection healthy. He misses you not because you created drama, but because you created depth. He cannot predict every word, every action, or every mood, and that makes him crave more time with you to uncover the parts he has not yet seen. Over time, unpredictability turns ordinary moments into something magnetic. Your presence becomes an experience he cannot replace, because no one else brings the same mix of steadiness and surprise. When you are gone, the memory of your unpredictability lingers. He wonders about you, imagines you, and misses you in ways he cannot easily explain, and that is the essence of longing. It lives not in certainty, but in the spaces where imagination fills the unknown. The value of having your own life. Nothing makes a man miss you more than realizing that your world does not revolve around him. When you have your own goals, your own passions, your own friends, and your own rhythm, you create an energy that is deeply magnetic. A man notices when you are complete on your own, because it means that being with you is a choice, not a necessity. That freedom makes you radiant. And that radiance is what he longs for when you are not around. Many people fall into the trap of giving up too much of themselves once they start caring about someone. They pause their hobbies, neglect friendships, and stop chasing their personal dreams. At first it may feel like devotion, but soon it creates imbalance. When your life shrinks, you lose the spark that made you attractive in the first place. A man does not miss what has become fully dependent on him, but when you continue to grow in your own direction, you stay interesting, unpredictable, and inspiring. He begins to admire the fact that you do not disappear into the relationship. And admiration always fuels longing. Having your own life also prevents you from overgiving. When your schedule is full of your own commitments, you naturally cannot be available at every moment. That absence creates contrast. He cannot expect you to answer instantly or to show up at every call. This distance is not punishment, it is simply the natural result of you living fully. And in that distance, desire has room to grow. He begins to notice the quiet spaces where your presence used to be. And those spaces remind him of how much he values your energy. Your independence also builds respect. Men respect what they cannot control. If he sees that your happiness does not depend entirely on him, he knows he must rise to meet you, not the other way around. He realizes that to share time with you, he must add to your life, not replace it. This awareness makes him take you more seriously, and that seriousness makes him miss you even more when you are not there. Because he knows that losing you would not just mean losing affection, it would mean losing the presence of someone who carries her own power. Another reason why having your own life is so magnetic is because it keeps your energy fresh. When you explore new interests, pursue goals, or learn new things, you bring that richness back into the connection. Conversations stay alive because you have more to share than just updates about him. Your energy feels full, not drained. A man misses fullness. He remembers how it felt to be around someone who was always growing, always evolving, always adding light. That memory makes him long for more of you. It is also important to remember that longing cannot exist without absence. If you are always there, always waiting, always adjusting your life around his, he never feels your absence. But when you are busy with your own path, he has to wait. He has to wonder what you are doing. He has to adjust to the idea that he is not the center of your time. That realization plants a seed of desire. The more he sees that you are a complete person without him, the more he wants to be part of your life. And the more he wants, the more he misses. Your independence also frees you from the fear of losing him. When your life is already rich and full, you know that even if he walks away, you will still stand strong. That calmness changes everything. It removes desperation from your energy and replaces it with quiet strength. That strength is magnetic. Men miss it because it is rare. It is not easy to find someone who can love deeply, but also stand alone with grace. When you show that, you become unforgettable. Living your own life also creates balance in the relationship. Instead of pouring all your attention into him, you spread your energy across many areas. This prevents resentment and keeps attraction alive. He feels the difference between a woman who clings and a woman who shares her time with wisdom. The second is the one he misses, because she is not always available, but when she is, her presence feels like a gift. At the core, the value of having your own life is this. You remind him that love is not about losing yourself. It is about sharing yourself. And the more whole you are, the more powerful that sharing becomes. He misses you not just because you give love, but because you embody a life that inspires him. Your independence makes your presence valuable, and that value stays with him long after you are gone. The mystery that awakens desire. What truly makes a man miss you is not how much you give, but how much you allow him to wonder. Mystery is not about hiding who you are, nor is it about playing cruel games. It is about keeping parts of yourself sacred, not laying every detail of your life bare, and allowing space for curiosity to grow. Desire is born in the unknown. When everything about you is obvious and predictable, there is nothing left for the imagination to chase. But when there is depth in you that he cannot fully grasp, he feels drawn back to your presence again and again. Mystery begins with self-control. You do not need to share every thought, every fear, or every plan. Holding back certain details is not dishonesty, it is wisdom. When you reveal yourself slowly, you give him something to discover over time. That process of discovery is what keeps him invested. He cannot miss what he already knows completely. But when you remain a little unreadable, he keeps turning your image over in his mind, wondering what more there is to see. That wondering is the essence of longing. Another strength of mystery is that it shifts the power of attention. Instead of you chasing his reactions, he chases yours. Instead of you proving your worth, he searches for clues about your inner world. The less predictable you are, the more magnetic you become. A man does not stay fascinated by what is obvious. He stays fascinated by what he cannot fully decode. Mystery makes him curious, and curiosity is what transforms into desire. When he misses you, it is not because you explained everything. It is because you left room for him to imagine. Mystery also protects your value. When you give everything at once, people often fail to appreciate it. But when you reveal yourself gradually, your presence gains weight. Each word, each action, each glance becomes more meaningful. He pays closer attention because he knows that nothing is automatic with you. That awareness keeps him alert and connected even when you are not around. He misses the moments where your depth appeared in unexpected ways, and he longs for the next time it will happen. Think about how art works. A painting that shows everything clearly can be admired once and then forgotten, but a painting with hidden layers, with shadows, with symbols that cannot be understood immediately stays in the mind. People return to it again and again, searching for new meaning. You are the same. When you carry mystery, you give him reasons to think of you when you are absent. He wonders about your silence, your smile, your choices. That wonder is what makes him miss you. Mystery is not about being distant all the time. It is about balance. You give enough to show warmth, but not so much that nothing is left unknown. You speak enough to connect, but you keep certain things private. You show interest, but you do not pour everything out at once. This rhythm makes your presence powerful. When you leave, the space you create is not empty. It is filled with unanswered questions. And questions are what keep him restless in your absence. Another part of mystery is how you carry yourself. The way you walk, the way you pause before speaking, the way you choose not to explain every decision. These small behaviors create an aura that is unforgettable. He notices that you are not like everyone else, that you do not feel the need to overexpose your life. This difference makes you rare, and rarity is always missed because it cannot be easily replaced. Mystery also connects to respect. When you keep certain parts of your life private, you set an unspoken boundary. You show that not everything is accessible, that intimacy with you must be earned. A man who experiences this learns to value you more. He cannot take your presence for granted because he knows it comes with layers he must slowly uncover, and that awareness makes him miss you, because he feels that every moment with you reveals something deeper. At its core, mystery is not about silence for the sake of silence. It is about depth. It is about having an inner world that cannot be fully captured in one meeting or one conversation. That inner world is what makes you magnetic. When you leave, he feels the pull to return because he knows there is more to discover. And that pull is what transforms absence into longing. He does not just miss your presence. He misses the mystery within it. Small actions that leave deep marks. What lingers in someone's memory is rarely the grand gesture. Big actions may impress for a moment, but they often fade quickly. What truly lasts are the small, consistent moments that carry meaning. These subtle actions are what a man remembers when you are gone. They are the quiet details that come back to him when he least expects it. The little things that make him feel your presence even in your absence. It is these small marks that build the strongest longing. A gentle smile at the right moment can stay longer in his memory than hours of conversation. The way you listen without rushing, the way you touch his arm lightly when you laugh, the way you pause before answering. All these small details create a rhythm he connects with. When you are not around, his mind replays them. They become reminders of your essence, reminders of how it felt to be in your presence. And missing you is nothing more than remembering how good it felt when you were near. Small actions also show authenticity. When you do not try to force attention or prove value, but instead act naturally, you leave stronger impressions. For example, choosing to genuinely enjoy your own meal, your own laugh, or your own space shows confidence that does not need validation. Those moments are powerful because they are not performed for anyone. They are simply part of who you are. A man misses this authenticity because it is rare. Many try to impress. Few simply exist in truth. Truth stays. Pretension fades. Another way small actions leave marks is through consistency. When you show kindness without expecting a reward, when you remember details he thought you would forget, when you look at him with genuine attention, these things stay longer than big words. He begins to notice the difference between your presence and others. He misses it because it feels unique, not exaggerated, not forced. It feels real, and reality is unforgettable. Small actions also build mystery. The way you close a conversation with calmness instead of rushing. The way you sometimes choose silence instead of over-explaining. The way you disappear into your own world for a while. These choices make him curious. He begins to think about you more because those small actions suggest depth. He knows there is more beneath the surface, and that awareness lingers in his thoughts when you are not there. Even small acts of independence leave marks. The fact that you choose your own schedule, that you can say no without guilt, that you can enjoy yourself without needing him constantly. All of these small signals show strength. He may not mention it, but he notices. And when you are absent, those signals replay in his memory. He misses not only your presence, but also the calm certainty you brought into his world. Another reason why small actions are powerful is because they trigger emotions. People remember how they felt around you more than what you said. The way you laughed at a small joke. The way you encouraged him without pressure. The way you respected your own boundaries. All of these moments are tied to emotions. When he thinks of you later, those emotions come back. That is longing. The return of feelings connected to your presence. You do not need to overperform to leave marks. The small and natural details of your presence are enough, but they must be genuine. If you try too hard, the magic disappears. The power of small actions is that they are effortless. They happen because you are comfortable in yourself. That comfort is magnetic. It makes him feel at ease, and when he no longer has it, he realizes how much he misses it. Over time, these small actions weave a pattern in his memory. He begins to associate you with peace, joy, curiosity, or admiration. When you leave, he does not just think of you as a person. He thinks of the feelings you awakened. That is why small actions are not small at all. They are seeds that grow into memories, and those memories are what make him miss you the most. At the core, leaving deep marks is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about the little choices, the subtle gestures, the quiet moments that reveal your essence without effort. A man may forget the big words or dramatic displays, but he will never forget the small actions that touched his heart in silence. Those are the ones that echo long after you are gone. The right moment to step back. Timing is everything when it comes to creating longing. Too much presence can make you blend into the background, while complete absence can make you fade from memory. The balance lies in knowing when to step back. Choosing the right moment to withdraw your energy is not weakness, it is strength. It is the wisdom of understanding that love breathes best with space, and when space is created at the right time, it awakens desire that words alone could never produce. Stepping back is not about punishing or teaching lessons, it is about allowing contrast. Human nature values what can be lost. When you are constantly there, your value becomes hidden in routine. But when you step away even slightly, he feels the shift. The silence grows louder, the absence becomes noticeable, and the comfort he once took for granted suddenly feels fragile. That realization plants the seed of missing you, and the seed grows stronger the longer you remain calm in your distance. The key is choosing the moment. If you step back too soon, he may not have had time to feel your presence fully. If you wait too long, your absence may become indifference. The art lies in sensing when he has become too comfortable, when he assumes you will always be available, when the rhythm has grown predictable. That is the moment to pull back gently, without drama, without explanation. Your choice speaks louder than words. It tells him that your attention is not automatic, and that it must be valued if he wishes to keep it. Stepping back also protects your dignity. It prevents you from overgiving, from trying too hard, from pouring yourself out until you feel empty. Instead of chasing, you pause. Instead of explaining, you rest. Instead of insisting, you hold your energy close. That pause is powerful because it reminds both you and him that you are not defined by his response. You have your own rhythm, your own center, your own calm. And that calm is magnetic. Absence creates reflection. When you are no longer filling the space, he begins to think. He replays conversations, remembers your presence, and feels the lack of your energy. This reflection does more than create missing, it creates awareness. He notices how different his world feels without you in it. That awareness makes him realize your importance not because you told him, but because he experienced it for himself. Nothing is stronger than realization born from absence. Another strength of stepping back is that it shifts the balance of power. When you stop pushing, he must decide whether to step forward. Your silence challenges him. It gives him the chance to pursue, to take initiative, to prove through actions what words cannot. If he does not step forward, then you know where he stands. If he does, it is because he truly values your presence. Either way, stepping back reveals the truth, and truth is always more powerful than illusions. The beauty of this choice is that it does not require anger. You do not need to slam doors or make loud statements. You simply choose to redirect your focus back to yourself, your goals, your joy. That shift is what creates the energy of longing. He sees that you are not desperate, that you will not chase endlessly, that your attention is a gift, not a guarantee. That energy changes everything. It separates you from the ordinary and makes you unforgettable. Remember also that stepping back is not about testing him constantly. It is about creating natural balance. Love grows when both people have room to breathe. Space makes presence sweeter. Silence makes words stronger. Distance makes closeness warmer. By stepping back at the right time, you are not weakening the bond. You are strengthening it, because you allow it to grow in truth rather than in constant demand. At the deepest level, longing cannot exist without distance. To miss someone, you must feel their absence. By stepping back at the right moment, you create that absence in a way that highlights your value instead of erasing it. He will not forget the woman who knew when to hold close and when to let go. He will not forget the calm strength that made him realize your presence was never guaranteed, but always a treasure. In the end, what makes a man miss you like crazy is not force, not over-effort, and not fear. It is the balance of presence and absence, the mystery you carry, the confidence you embody, and the strength to step back when needed. Longing is not created by chasing, it is created by space. And the woman who understands this truth does not beg to be remembered. She becomes unforgettable by simply being herself.